Hello guys, I'm Pickles Parker, and today I will be reviewing some Big Finish, the Serpent in a Silver Mask, part of the monthly range, featuring Peter Davison, Matthew Waterhouse, Sarah Sutton and Janet Fielding as the 5th Doctor, Adric, Nyssa and Tegan. Enjoy. So yes, the Serpent in the Silver Mask, part of the monthly range. Now I haven't been into the monthly range before, partly because of the price, as in physical they're £15 and the download's only a couple of pounds cheaper at £13. They're quite expensive for a single story, and I think the box sets are a lot more better value for money. And with the amount of box sets that come out each year, and each month really, there's at least one box set each month that I would like. In order to keep buying those, I can't get a monthly range story every because of the price. If they start putting them into box sets, or if they made them £10 download, or just generally maybe £12 or £10 for the physical, I think I'd be much more open into buying them. But I just think with the price, the monthly range is quite expensive, and for me to buy as well as box sets, so I do tend to favour the box sets. And also the 80s period isn't one of my favourite periods on the show. You will know if you've watched my ranking the Doctors video that the 3 80s Doctors were my 3 least favourite Doctors, and Davison was my second to last Doctor. That was just because he was a bit bland really, but this changed my opinion on him, but I'll get onto that later. I haven't been to a monthly range before, probably won't again for a while, though I do think, because they do the each Doctor, because it's the 80s Doctors, Davison, Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy, they do little trilogies throughout the year with each of the Doctors, so I might pick up one release from each trilogy, the one that I fancy the most by reading the bio, and get that one, as I can't get all 3, but hopefully that this will carry on, that I'll be able to get one monthly range release from each trilogy. And this one, Serpent in the Silver Mask, this one was the one that intrigued me the most, because the other ones by the bio, after reading the bios and watching the Host Productions reviews on them, Kingdom of Lies and I think it's Ghost Walks, can't remember the title of the second one, but I'll put it here when editing it. Yeah, those two, they seemed a bit bleak, but this one seemed very fun, very colourful. The cover is very colourful, and it seems something a bit different, a bit wacky, which I always like when I Doctor. I like something a bit out there, a bit different. So this release caught my eye, so that's why this was the one which I picked up. The plot: the Doctor takes Nyssa, Tegan and Adric to Argentia to try and get some crystals that he hopes can make a new sonic screwdriver. But they are alerted to a funeral that is taking place for Carlo Mazzini, which is a part of the very famous mining family, the Mazzinis. So you go there, and there's all the relatives there, which obviously the Mazzini family is huge, but they're all there not really because they care about Carlo as such. They just want his money. They're just waiting for the will to be read out, and his Uncle Frank is the one who runs the mining business now really anyway, and he wants the money because Carlo's son Angelo doesn't want to be in the mining business. He's more of an archaeologist who goes back in time, and he doesn't want anything to do with the family business. So Uncle Frank wants the money, and he's gonna be really pissed off if the money goes to Angelo. And then there's also his sister Maria, who has 2 sons and is always getting divorced and married, and she also wants the money as well. Practically everyone wants the money, but then they're all pretty angry when find out that all of the money went to Angelo. So then Angelo goes to speak to his accountant, but is murdered by a man in a silver mask. So the Argentia is put on internal lockdown, so the doctor must find out who the serpent in the silver mask was before Argentia risks being cut off from the rest of the universe. Yes, I really enjoyed this story. As I said, it's my first monthly range. What you find with the monthly range is it is 2-hour stories, much like the First Doctor adventures, which, going in the order that these are being filmed in, I don't know if I've reviewed that yet. Listen to it, but I don't know if I've reviewed it when this comes out. Much like those, I think those are very good, the 2-hour format. Obviously, the First Doctor ones are in there to more suit the 60s format, but I do quite like the 2-hour ones, possibly a bit more, I think, because you get a lot of expanding on the world, a lot of world building, a lot of characters, more development of the plot. And I think that sometimes in Classic Who, people say Classic Who more expansion on characters and things. I sometimes think Classic Who, they some of the parts feel a bit there that they don't need to be there. An example is in Planet of the Spiders, with the whole third part is just one big chase sequence. So I sometimes don't really agree when people have a dig at the new series and say Classic series did this, because generally most of the time, sometimes it didn't. But I feel with Big Finish, they do actually work the story to the length. Every part feels that it needs to be there, and I think the longer stories generally are very good, and I really enjoy them. And this was no different to the First Doctor ones. I really enjoyed it. I think the 2-hour format is probably the best Big Finish format, although I did enjoy the 10th and 4th Doctor adventures with the 1-hour format. I think I did enjoy the 2-hour format a bit more, because it's just a bit relaxed, longer plots, and more grandiose style adventures, and I think you get more engrossed into it, because I think the problem with the 1-hour ones is you're getting into it and then it's kind of over, but I think with these, I think it's very much longer, so you get a better quality of story, really. Not to say that the 1-hour ones aren't good, but I think 2-hour ones are just better, in my opinion. Like I think I said previous, I really like the whole concept of the story. I genuinely really like wacky Doctor Who, and I think just on this cover, you can definitely see how wacky it is. Just looking over at my computer there, I think that the colours is very much yellows, greens, oranges, and then the serpent stands out in black. And I think it's a really nice cover. I think it sums up the story brilliantly. I think that this world is very unusual, very kind of wacky, and I really like that we kind of are exploring this world. We're setting a standard murder mystery in this really inventive world, and I think it gives you a really nice listen and a really good story. I really enjoyed it. I do like murder mysteries myself, and I like wacky settings and wacky Doctor Who. Put them together, you've got a really good story, and I really like it. I think that the whole Serpent is really nice, and I do like how everybody seems to be more in more warmer colours. For example, darker yellows, or darker greens. But I like how the Serpent, the killer, stands out in white and black, and and I think that's really nice, especially on the cover. That's really nice. I really like the idea that the Doctor is trying to get a new sort of screwdriver, because we obviously all know in the 5th Doctor era, in the Visitation I think it is, that he loses his sonic screwdriver, and then didn't have a sonic screwdriver up until the TV movie where he mysteriously got it back. But up until the end of Classic Hero, he never had one. So I really like in this story that he's trying to get a new sonic screwdriver. Shows that he didn't just lose it. It's like, don't need it, but he's trying to get another one. And I think that's really nice to see. I'm surprised that hasn't really been done before. Yeah, that was really nice. It's quite interesting that these crystals in Argentia can create a sort of screwdriver. So maybe some other characters maybe have to get sort of screwdrivers by going to Argentia. I don't know. The cast, we have Peter Davison as the Doctor. As I think I said at the start of this video, in my ranking the Doctors, Peter Davison was my second bottom favourite Doctor. I just found him a bit blandry, a bit forgettable. I found him a bit too human. I think that he didn't really stand out in most of his stories, apart from the Caves of Androsani, and I think he didn't feel like an alien enough. I didn't feel like the Doctor. He just felt like a very intelligent human being. He didn't have any quirks. He just didn't really feel alien to me. But I think in Big Finish, I don't know whether it's because Peter Davison has matured or just the writing, because the writing in Big Finish is blooming good. But I just think that Peter Davison, I really liked him in this. I think that there are some really nice callbacks to, like he says, I think Adric says, well, you could have just asked him if you could have the crystals, and he says, no, that usually ends in a firm no. Can I play by the waterfall? Can I join the Time Lord Academy? Can I borrow that TARDIS? I think Davison delivered the line so well. I think he feels like the Doctor in this. I think he feels a bit more unusual to his surroundings, and I think especially when he's talking to the superintendent, he feels very much like the Doctor, and I don't know if he's been written like this in Big Finish before. I presume he has. But I think Big Finish know how to write the 5th Doctor well, and I think they've definitely improved on some elements that I thought needed improving on in the TV series. And I very much like Davison in this, and it's really made me want to listen to more Big Finish with him in, because he was very good. Matthew Waterhouse is Adric, and he's alright. Matthew Waterhouse is decent, but I just think Adric's character, he's always an annoying little bugger, isn't he? Adric, he's the infamous annoying person, and they got something right. He's annoying in this, which is in keeping with his character. He doesn't really have that much to do. Obviously, he's witnessed the murder of Angelo Mazzini, and he does have a bit to do, but generally I think he is very much sidelined with Nyssa. So the only really thing I think is that he was a bit annoying, but I think that's more because Matthew Waterhouse has to do that really high-pitched voice, which I think that generally annoyed me a bit, but I think that's supposed to be annoying. You can't really help that. But yeah, Adric didn't really have that much to do in this story, but when he was good, but annoying. He's supposed to be annoying, so I suppose that is ultimately good. Sarah Sutton as Nyssa, and she's the most sidelined. I think that Nyssa, a lot of people like her and think she's underrated. I think she's a bit annoying personally, although she is good in some stories. I've heard she's very good on Big Finish, especially in stories as Spare Parts, which is very highly regarded, and I really need to check out. Yes, she's very much sidelined. She has barely anything to do, which I know is the thing with the crowded TARDIS and big TARDIS teams. You always get someone that is ultimately sidelined, a bit like in the First Doctor here. I like in the First Doctor box set, which I recently got, but I think they all really have a part in that. I think that they more don't have a part for characters in this because they're trying to make it in keeping with the era, I presume, but I do like big TARDIS teams. I think that it would be nice to see a bit more with Nyssa, but I think that really, I don't think you could have. And I think that if you were taking Nyssa out of this story, I don't really think it would have mattered much. But yes, her son's good, but she's just really the sidelined member of the crowded TARDIS for this story. Tegan, played by Janet Llewellyn, and generally I quite like Tegan. I know people generally don't like her with Heathrow Airport antics, but to me, I actually really like Tegan, which is quite a controversial opinion. But I don't really find her that annoying. I think she is a bit underrated. I always seem to enjoy Janet Llewellyn's performance. And she's good in this. She probably has the most to do. She gets a bit friendly with Joe Mazzini, one of the relatives of the Mazzini family. And I think she blends in quite well, and she has very good chemistry with Davison. So yeah, she's very good, probably my favourite of the three of the crowded TARDIS in this story, and has the most to do. Finally, I would like to talk about someone who isn't a companion, but Samuel West, who voices all of the Mazzinis, who does a brilliant job. To be honest, I wouldn't have thought it was all one person, because they are all very extinct. Angelo doesn't sound like Uncle Frank, and Maria doesn't sound anything like Joe. They all sound very different. Although you can tell that Maria is a male doing the voice and not a female. I think that's all because they're all supposed to be clones or something. But yeah, Samuel West is really good at trying to differentiate the voices. They've all got their different accents as well, which is all quite nice. But yeah, Samuel West is very... Overall, what did I think of this story? I really enjoyed it, actually. My first dip into the monthly range, it was a really good one. I really like the wacky setting and the world building of Argentia, and I really like the characters of the Mazzini family on show. I really like the Serpent and the whole design of it, and how it contrasts to the wacky world that we're given. I really like the TARDIS team in this story, and Davison's on form, and I just think it's really good. This story is written by David Llewellyn, who also written the Kreyn Experiment in the Fourth Doctor Adventures. I haven't reviewed that yet, but I've listened to it. Spoilers, it's, in my opinion, it's very good, and I like that one, so spoiler for when I do get around to reviewing it. But I think David Llewellyn is probably my favourite Big Finish writer at the moment of what I've listened to so far, because both this and the Kreyn Experiment are very good, and we're both very different as well. I think that this is a perfect blend of a murder mystery and a wacky setting, and somehow works. I really like it. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I know I've been giving a lot of things Big Finish 8 out of 10s in the past, but it is a really, really good story, and I definitely recommend you check it out, especially as I do believe part 1 is free to download if you are subscribed to the Big Finish newsletter, so you can download that and see if you want to buy this release. But yeah, 8 out of 10, really good. Please like this video if you have enjoyed it, and if you want to see more content from my channel, then please hit subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and of course, goodbye. Hello, Garen Adams. So, Asylum of the Daleks. I always feel that this episode gets too much hate than it deserves. Maybe that's because it was the first series opener I watched on broadcast, with me joining at the end of series 6. Sure, the Amy and Rory divorce crap is completely unneeded, and the classic Daleks are wasted, yet I love the concept behind the Dalek Asylum. Matt Smith is brilliant as always, and Jenna gives a good performance as Oswin, although I find the character annoying. Although the Daleks forgetting the Doctor is pointless, I love the very end scene, when the Doctor in the TARDIS shouts, "Doctor Who?" Overall, a flawed yet enjoyable and slightly nostalgic story for me. I give Asylum of the Daleks a 7 out of 10.